What is community? It's Friday night lights with laughter as post-game commentary. It's fun runs, fun rides. It's passing the boot for local heroes. And it's breaking ground for groundbreaking startups. This is what makes a community. And it's what makes a community bank. It's fertile financial resources turned back into local soil. Here's to people helping others thrive. This is community banking. D.L. Evans Bank, since 1904.
I'm Connor from Idaho Falls. In high school, I started having trouble with my muscles. Playing football, kids half my size were pushing me around. My mom and I spent months traveling the country looking for answers. We finally got one right here at IRMAC. I have a rare disease that causes my cells to lose energy. After 2 years of using a wheelchair, the therapists at IRMAC taught me how to walk again. Now I can do the things that I enjoy and live the life I want. That's why I say, take me to IRMAC.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
At D.L. Evans Bank, we haven't invested in a deep line of digital banking services to help infuse more banking into your life. Just more living. D.L. Evans Bank. This is community banking.
Well, is IRMAC really the best hospital for pediatric care? I mean, aren't all ERs the same?
Not all ERs are the same. IRMAC's ER has been delivering high-level clinical care for over 3 decades. As a Level 2 trauma and burn center, IRMAC is well equipped to handle pediatric injury and illness. All IRMAC ER nurses have higher level pediatric certifications, and that's just not common in all ERs. And this expertise and experience is found only at IRMAC.
Well, why should I take my kiddos to IRMAC?
Simply put, IRMAC has the most experience taking care of kids. As a Level 2 trauma center, we are well equipped to take care of pediatric injury and illness. All IRMAC ER nurses have high-level pediatric certifications, and that's just not common in all ERs. This expertise and experience is found only at IRMAC.
Wow, that's great. I had no idea.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
Your job is planning, planting, harvesting, and to be on call 24 hours a day. Our job is to make sure you have the resources to keep doing it. D.L. Evans Bank. This is community banking.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Idaho Falls Rafston Stadium. This is an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of East Idaho Game Night. East Idaho Game Night is presented by the Teton Auto Group, IRMAC Pediatric Services, as well as D.L. Evans Bank. It's also brought to you in part by our other major advertising partners, Project Filter, Valleywide Cooperative, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and of course your local Toyota dealer. Hi everybody, I'm Logan Green, joined with Len Frank. We're here at Rafston Stadium for a great matchup between Idaho Falls and Madison. Again, last year these two teams were conference opponents. They were for the last couple of years as Idaho Falls moved up to the 5A level, but that is not anymore as the Tigers have made the drop back down to 4A and are still looking for a playoff victory or playoff appearance for the first time in many years.
Yeah, they I think with this 4A, I think they can, fit in a little bit better. Last year was kind of a rough year for Idaho Falls as far as conference. They had a great year, started out 5-0, and then lost the key conference games in order to make it to the playoffs. All those teams made it to the playoffs, but I believe all three made it to the playoffs. And
because their three losses came to Madison. They lost to Madison 21-17, and they lost a little bit big to Rigby, but everybody loses big to Rigby. And then they lost to Highland. So you look at that, and two of those three were playing for a state championship.
That's right.
So really, that's all that stands in the way. You know what's interesting about the 4A is that it is much easier to make the playoffs at the 4A level. There are 16 teams that get a bid out of a total of 25 4A teams. One of them is not even eligible this year, Caldwell, because they're playing an independent schedule. So take Caldwell out of the mix, and there's only 8 teams that are not going to make it. So if you can just be okay, you're probably going to make the playoffs. So that bodes well for Idaho Falls this year, knowing that, hey, if we can just sneak out a couple of wins like we did last year, 6 wins a year ago, that's usually good enough to make it in 4A. Conversely, you look on the other side, Madison, a team that went to state last year, of course, had a big win against Rigby to punch that ticket to make it to state last year. They just fell short to Meridian, a Meridian team that was a play away from beating Rigby in the semifinals, who went on to win a state championship. But really, Meridian might have been the second best team in the state last year, right behind Rigby. So Madison was, right in that game. Most of it, I was actually there for that game at Meridian. So very close matchup between those two. So we'll see. The last 2 years that these two teams have played, 21-17 and 28-24.
Yeah, they're pretty evenly matched, and I know that IF knows who they lost to last year, and they're going to want some revenge. So this will be a fun game to watch, I think.
So the story we briefly discussed it. Maybe look at the quarterback situation. Of course, Madison will be returning their senior quarterback, and we will get a look at the new quarterback for Idaho Falls here as we started away. That kickoff through the back of the end zone. Bryce Dredge, the sophomore, boots it through. It'll be 1st and 10 for Idaho Falls at the 20.
Yeah, you were saying last year the Tigers were led by their senior quarterback, Skylar Olson. This year they've got Kale Federer as their starting quarterback, who, didn't get any very, very few reps last year. Skylar Olson led the team last year and is a huge loss for this year's team that they've just got to somehow figure out a way to reload.
And on the other side, Dredge started last year, led his team to a playoff appearance, so he's looking for more this year. All right, 1st and 10. We are underway here at Rafston. Quick pass to the right side is caught with room to run. He's got some blockers. He's across the 30, across the 20, the 35. Great pitch and catch. That's Trey Piper with a big first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, Trey Piper, he's an athlete. He's on their basketball team. Started, a few games last year for him as a sophomore. He's a good athlete.
So Piper takes the short bubble screen out there, gets a good block from his receivers, and picks up a big first down. This time it'll be a run left side. Cuts back inside. He's across the 40 up to about the 41. So a short gain, about 3 yards. I don't like it when the sticks are on this side of me. I like it when the sticks are on the other side. It's easier to tell. The sticks are right below us right here. We're on the Madison, quote, the Madison sideline right now. And I like it when the sticks are over there. So it'll be 2nd down. They're going to say 7 yards to go. Ball at the 41 for the Tigers. This time another handoff. This goes right side. Lots of room to run, and he breaks through into the second level across the 30, the 25, and he'll go out at the 20. That a great run from Colton Lyda. 1st down Tigers.
Yeah, Colton Lytle also plays basketball for the Tigers. He was on the varsity team last year, and they had some big shoes to fill from last year too at the running back. He was kind of running back, had a few injuries during the year last year, but Lyda seems to be able to handle the load right now.
The offense doing a great job for Idaho Falls right now, picking up key blocks right where they need to be, and the receivers and the backs finding those blockers, being patient, and waiting for the lane. Lyda will take this one up the middle again, and he's pulled back. Great job laying down on the ground was number 66, Clark McCain for Madison, and just held on for dear life and brings him back in. It'll be a pickup of about, and they're going to give him about 4 yards down to the 17. So it'll be second. It's 2nd and 6. It says 7 up there, but it's 6. Shotgun formation for Feder. He has Lyda to his right. And Lyda will get the handoff left side. And a stiff arm. And I think it's going to be all for naught. He's going to go inside the 5. But now we've got another flag. So we might see offsetting penalties here. The first flag thrown in the area of a hold. The second one coming now where we might see a face mask or a helmet-to-helmet call. Waiting for the official. First, there is a hold, and there is a face mask.
Offsetting.
So a good run for Idaho Falls. At least they don't go back. And if you're Madison, you say that play was coming back. That's a tough pill to swallow. It was going to be, let's say 2nd and 16, and now it's just copy paste. Let's redo this.
Yep. Play again.
So again, 2nd and 6 for Idaho Falls. And there's going to be a false start, I believe, on the tight end. Number 13 moved a little early, 17. Court Murdoch, a 6'5", 210-pound senior. That's not a guy that I could bring down or would want to be faced with that challenge, I'll say. Tigers keep it inside again. This run gets them up to the 19, but that's it. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8 for Idaho Falls.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do. Running up the middle there behind that. Idaho Falls got a decent decent-sized offensive line, but that, the Madison offensive line, or defensive line, pretty stout. I apologize. I haven't watched much of either of these teams, and I don't know much about Madison as far as, what their strengths, weaknesses might be, but that defensive line looks like it can hold up. So
3rd down for Idaho Falls. This one a quick pass, almost the same play as the first of the game, and I thought he got to the 11, which is what he needed for the first down. It'll depend on the spot. They're right at the sticks.
Yeah, they've still got it down 4th down, 4th and.
Oh, it's 4th and
inches.
They're gonna have to measure this. The officials over there, they're discussing it. let's take a look and see if we can get our official call before. All right, so we'll wait right here, and we'll see where it is. I mean, when the down marker came up with his 4, he was right at the sticks. If they don't have it, it's going to be very close. And they got it.
The first
That's
down.
one of those where you break out the credit card and slide it in. So it'll be an Idaho Falls first down. So the Tigers are going to be 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. 8:30 to go. Good first drive for Idaho Falls. This one picks up about 2. This, I think, is the worst spot you can get a first down, on the 11-yard line, because you really have to go 11 yards for that, because, I mean, you can get that first down inside the 1, but what? Come on. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Usually that's going to end in the end zone.
Sure. You'd like to be 1st and goal inside
inside
well
the
inside
1.
the yes.
Yeah, inside the 5, you know.
Yes.
But either way, Idaho Falls, they'll have a couple shots out of here if they can get close to the goal line. 2nd and goal, or 2nd and 8 from the 9. It's another handoff going up the middle. Lida, good run. He gets down to the 4-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about 3 yards to go for Idaho Falls, and they seem content. We haven't seen any type of what you would call a explosive type attempt from the Tigers. They've had 2 really good long plays, but they were very conservative plays, and it's worked for the Tigers if they've, you know, scratched and clawed their way down inside the 5. $7:20 to go here at Rapston. Here's the snap, another run right side, and going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Idaho Falls. Colton Lida with a 4-yard run, and the Tigers strike first.
Yeah, just running off of that right tackle there. Lida puts his head down well and actually jumps right over the defender there and gets himself in the end zone.
So Colton Lida gets the scoring started for Idaho Falls. Extra point is up, and it is good. So the Tigers take a 7-0 lead on Madison to start things off here. And give us just a quick second to go ahead and thank Alta Insurance. They are a locally owned agency with locations both right here in Idaho Falls as well as Twin Falls. Alta's mission is to help their community by providing policies personalized to each customer's needs. The community they work with and live in is their #1 priority. As such, they offer a wide range of insurance products and companies able to take care of the community's assets. Alta Insurance has recently merged with Archibald Levitt Insurance in Rexburg, where you can get where you have the same great names with the same great service together. And that's Alta Insurance. So thanks to them for being a sponsor. They're a great sponsor of Idaho Falls area schools athletics. Again, be sure to support the businesses that support Idaho sports. Of course, these games are live and free to you to watch, but producing them usually isn't. So we rely on those sponsors to get it all done. So just be sure at any time possible, support the local businesses that support your local athletes. All right, here we go. Idaho Falls will boot it away. Number 42 coming in for the kick. That's Sean Benson. And Benson will boot this one away. Good kick. It's going to fall around the 7-yard line where Madison will take it. Dredge runs left side, and he gets maybe to the 20. And they will. That's where they'll spot it. So Bryce Dredge, about a 13-yard return. And it'll be 1st and 10. Excuse me, that was about a 7-yard return. 1st and 10, Madison ball at the 20.
Excited to see what this Madison offense has in store for us this year. Having a senior quarterback come back from last year, got a lot of playing time last year, from what I remember, and excited to see what they can do.
Quick pass over here to the near side and brought down immediately. The Tigers are all over it. The first one in there to make contact was number 31, Jaden Jones, and he's a little frustrated that he didn't bring him down in the backfield for a loss. Jones had the receiver wrapped up around the 18, but he squirts free and gets down to the 22. They'll spot it, so it'll be a 2-yard gain.
Look kind of similar to the same, swing pass that that IF runs. I think IF's defense has seen that one before. So
empty set for Dredge now. He'll bring over a man in motion. Idaho Falls adjust to it, and Dredge keeps it up the middle, but coming in from the linebacker spot, reading it like a book, number 49 for Idaho Falls, Tayton Warnicki. No, excuse me, that's Madison. I'm looking at my wrong 49. Peter Molino. Molino came in, and he was motioning out, telling the defense to move over, and he pointed right at it and got right in the gap and brought down Dredge. So it'll be 3rd down for Madison, 3rd and a long 5. Dredge again, he's got 3 receivers up top. Looking to set up that screen again and spread like a book and dropped. Big tackle that time, Molino, no doubt, and brings him down.
Yeah, that was pretty well snuffed out by the defense there.
So Molino, 2 big tackles in a row for Idaho Falls, brings up a 4th and down. 2 yards to go for Madison, and looks like they'll bring in Porter Cottle to punt this one away. This one a line drive kick like saucer style, and it's really hard to scoop up by the Tigers, and it's still rolling back. This could be a disaster, and it is. It's going to be a safety. Oh, my goodness. So the punt, Jaden Jones tried to pick it up for Idaho Falls, but the punt was like a saucer. Instead of flipping over end, it was going side to side, just like a
I think
Frisbee.
they're calling a touchback on that, not a safety.
So
a little conversation there with
he touched
referees.
Are they saying he didn't touch it?
I don't know, because he was waving as if it was a touchback and not a safety.
Wow, I thought that Jones touched it, but maybe he just – wow, that's a big change in this game, because that would have given Madison 2 points and the ball. But Idaho Falls, that surprises me. All right, Tigers 1st down. And Lida up the middle. He gets a big hit coming in for the tackle. Tayson Clark lays a licking on Lida.
Yeah, that hole closed fast and hard.
So, again, an interesting development there that they're going to say Jones never touched it. I don't think I've ever seen a punt like that. Just the way it was spinning was impossible to catch. So another one of those swing passes, but Madison was ready for it that time.
Yeah, back to that punt, I don't know. You wouldn't have seen that on the grass field from the year ago. So that's something new that no matter where you're watching this game from, watching it on the Ravison field, the ball's going to take some different bounces than it has in all years previous.
Yeah, the turf definitely plays a factor. It's a great multi-use option, but sometimes it can get in the way. And a long pass down the field is out of the hands of the receiver. Court Murdoch probably should have caught that ball down around the 45.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good pass he had. He was looked like he was pretty open and just couldn't haul it in.
Hit him around the shoulder as he was kind of motioning that maybe he had gotten held, but no call. So Idaho Falls will be forced to punt it away. So they survive giving up the safety. But go 3 and out the other way, and this one is shanked. Not a great punt, and this one's going to go out of bounds around the 35. The 34 is what they'll say. So Madison, good field position. When it's all said and done, they get the ball at the 34-yard line, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, that punt definitely flipped the field in Madison's advantage, and see if they can take advantage of that right now.
And thanks for joining us for East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group, as well as Ermac Pediatrics and D.L. Evans Bank. So Dredge, he's going to look left. He's going to go deep, and there's got to be a flag, and there it is. The defender for Idaho Falls never turned his head and made contact with the receiver. If he had just turned around, that pass was a little long and might not have made it to the receiver, but when you make contact and don't turn your head, you're going to get that flag thrown on you almost every time. So now Madison moving the ball well on this after the punt. The punt, like you mentioned, Lynn, really changed the field here as we are at the 3:30 mark of the first quarter. A fast-moving first quarter here from Rafson Field in what's been an entertaining first quarter. Dredge in the shotgun. This time he has a back with him. They'll keep it, and Dredge fakes everybody out, and he's going to scoot into the end zone for a Madison touchdown. That's a 20-yard run by quarterback Ben Dredge.
Yeah, that faked the whole defense out, and he was able to scoot right in there for the touchdown. I think they'd been keying all week on that. Must be, running hard to the middle, and then no one home to account for the quarterback there.
So the extra point opportunity is up, and it's good. So Madison ties it up here at the 3:31 mark of the first quarter. If you'll take a look, you saw on that last kick, the field goal posts here right now are orange. This is and I don't know if with the way Rafson has changed the field, I don't know. Traditionally, if you're an Idaho Falls fan, you know this, that those goalposts, this field is shared by Skyline and Idaho Falls. The Emotion Bowl, you get to paint the goalpost if you win, right? So if they've been blue for a long time. They had been Skyline blue to the point where they just had a standing order at Ace Hardware, and they would bring over the blue paint. But last year, Idaho Falls finally able to break that streak and get a big win over Skyline, who went on to win the 4A state championship a year ago. So again, we look at this Idaho Falls team from last year and say, man, they were really just right there. They were really neck and neck. I think them and Madison were very identical. Really the only difference in the two of them was the game. Madison beat Idaho Falls, and therefore Madison played at state, hung with Meridian, and Idaho Falls watched everybody on IdahoSports.com during the playoffs. So all tied up at 3 or at 7, and Madison will boot it away. And another drop kick this time, finally picked up by the Tigers. Room to run on the right side. It's going to be brought down around the 26, and some little theatrics going on in the middle of the field. There was a Madison player and an Idaho Falls player, a little gotten into it with each other, and the Idaho Falls player walked back towards him and barely touched him, and, made it look like he had been, ran into by a wrecking ball.
Sure.
It's there is a theatrical part to this, right?
Oh, sure.
It's
sure.
like basketball.
Yep.
If you can play a good act, you can get yourself 15 yards.
Sure. If anything, the drama teacher over there at Madison knows where she can look to find somebody else for the next play coming up too.
So that first down run, Lida, nothing doing there. So the first drive, Idaho Falls was able to find a lot of gaps, a lot of holes, and pick up big chunks of yards. But the last one drive, they went 3 and out. And so far on this drive, just a short 1-yard gain on first down. Second down. This time a pitch and some room to run, getting forward for about 5 yards on that up to the 32-yard line. That'll bring up third down. I'll say about 4 on this, 3rd and 4 for Idaho Falls. 2:25 to go in the first quarter. This time a run to the right side. Nothing doing there, but there's going to be a flag come out. They didn't pick up the first down. They're about a yard short. See if Madison accepts it. So Madison's going to I honestly thought they would have waved that one off. It would have been 4th down at about 1. And the way the Madison defense has been playing the last 2 drives, I think I like them in that situation to be able to not let Idaho Falls pick up a yard.
Yeah, they've been playing pretty stout. I think they, that first drive, I think they might have figured out some things and definitely making a stronger stand. But that did move them back a ways, and about.
So rolling right, looking for somebody to throw to, and it's caught at the 31. He drops it as he goes out of bounds. Didn't really matter. The sticks were at the 37. So it's still going to be 4th and about 5 yards to go, so Idaho Falls will be forced to punt again. This time a much better punt from the Tigers. It drops and skirts the sideline. Great job there, and Madison will take over around the 39-yard line. So the punt that time dropped around the 40 and barely stayed in bounds going down to the 30, but Madison a much longer field to go down this time as they'll start at the 39.
I think it was a good idea for that receiver to pick that ball up because, as we've seen on this turf, that ball can go quite a ways if it's going in the correct direction, depending on what side of the ball you're on. But
yeah,
good idea to pick that up.
It's not just going to die in the grass like you see at Soldier Field in Chicago where it'll hit a divot and just stop. So first down for Madison. Chance to take the lead for the Bobcats. And Dredge will keep it again this time. And he's forward for about 7 yards. He's down to the 46. So 2nd and 3 for Madison as we are now under a minute to go in the first quarter. Good crowd here today at Rafston. I can't fully see the Idaho Falls or the Madison side, but there's a good amount of people here. Idaho Falls side probably about 80% full across the way. Dredge, he's going to roll right this time. Still going, and he's across the 50, and he'll have a first down for the Bobcats. So Dredge doing it on the ground the last drive, getting into the end zone. And so far on this one, it's been successful for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Dredge. He's able to, take the ball, run with it, and he doesn't shy away from a hit. It looks like he'll dish one too if given the opportunity.
It looks like that is going to do it for the first quarter as the clock still running, not all the way gone. But that will do it. So all tied up at 7 here after 1 from Rafston. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with the second quarter here on IdahoSports.com.
Well, how do I know when to take her to the Irmac ER?
You can use Irmac's free 24/7 nurse advice line. They'll advise you if you can take care of your child at home, if you need to go see your doctor, or come directly to the emergency room. Remember that Irmac has the most experience taking care of kids. In fact, every Irmac ER nurse has higher level pediatric certifications, not common in all ERs.
Thank you so much. We'll head right there.
And welcome back to Rafston as we are ready for the second quarter. We'll flip ends of the field. Of course, Madison in the red helmets, white jerseys, and red pants, opposite of Idaho Falls. Black helmets, black pants, and mostly black jerseys with a little orange on top. First down this time for the Bobcats. As Eastern Idaho, we'll talk about it after this play, as this run still going for the Bobcats after a big push, though. Knocks him back. That's a great run by Barkley Beck. Just a sophomore out there, but running hard.
Yeah, that was a nice run. He shook off a tackle, spun around, and got some more yards out of that.
But over in the Treasure Valley, most of the games were canceled tonight because of smoke. Most of the 4A and 5A SIC games over in the Treasure Valley are canceled. We had a couple games on the Idaho Sports schedule canceled. Meridian was supposed to play Middleton. That one wiped out. We'll see when that one gets made up. Dredge is going to keep it again. Idaho Falls able to contain it, but not after Dredge picks up another first down at the 36-yard line. Salmon and Coal Valley were supposed to meet in Cary, but they got smoked out as well, as there is a bad fire right there around Hazleton, kind of between Twin Falls and Burley. So I live over in the Treasure Valley, and I drove on my way here, drove right through it, and it was bad over there. See the flames from the highway, and it's really bad in the Treasure Valley today. So a lot of games canceled. So be sure to check IdahoSports.com if you want to get up to date on what's going on around the state with those updates. We'll have all that information, what's been postponed, and when makeup games are. So Dredge going to roll left, keeps it with his feet again. And that'll hype up the Madison sideline as Dredge goes through a tackle. Anytime your quarterback lays a hit, it usually elicits that kind of response from your bench.
Yeah, he didn't shy away from that at all. He took that on, and that's not not a typical. Well, that play design is not a design for a sliding quarterback anyway. That quarterback's looking to run and maybe run over somebody in the process.
So 2nd and 5, Dredge been able to pick up about 5 to 6 yards per carry. If you're Idaho Falls, you can't allow that for much longer. And if you're Madison, you say, you know what? If that ain't broke, I'm not going to fix it. And this time another run is forward, this time carrying it, Austin Cottrell. Cottrell is close to the sticks. He's about a yard short. Ball's at the 28. They need the 26. 10-13 to go here in the second quarter. It's been a great game so far, a fun, entertaining game here on Idaho Sports. I wonder who's going to get the ball here, and there it is. Dredge will keep it, and he'll pick up a first down.
Yeah, when they line up, no backs, it's kind of a little obvious of who's going to get the ball. It doesn't matter if he's going to throw it, but yeah, like you said, if it's not broke, don't fix it, because they're picking up, anywhere 4, 5, 6 yards a pop. So
we saw a deep pass that a pass interference was called on, and we saw one swing pass for Madison. Everything else has been on the ground, and most of it has been on the feet of Dredge. This time he'll hand it off and swallow it up. Good tackle that time, number 69. That's Brendan Rasmussen. 6'4", 280 pounds. That is a big man out there, and not somebody that I would want to tackle me. And a big tackle, he's going to be hard to get through. Only a gain of about 2, 2nd and 8. This time, Dredge does have a back to its right. 2 receivers up top and one man coming over in motion now. This will be a handoff, a delay, and Idaho Falls all over it. Only a gain of about 2, so it's going to be 3rd down. Let's say 3rd and about. Yeah, 3rd down, about 6 yards to go. So here's a big play, and I don't know if this is one where Madison is playing for 4 downs anyway. So they're saying, you know what, if I get 4 or 5 on this and make it a 4th and 1, I'm going for it anyway. So you see that a lot, especially in this position of the field. This might be close enough for field goal range for Madison, but this is kind of that area of high school football between the 40 and the 20 where you see a lot of teams that'll go for it. So Dredge, he's going to throw an out route, and it's caught. And I think he has a first down. That reception by number 84, Trevin Lords. So Lords does have enough for the first down. So Madison, run, throw for the first down.
Yeah, and that was a quick pass. There was not a lot of drop back and set up for that one. That was a quick out to that wide receiver, and just made a great pass on that. Got it right in the spot he needed it, and picked up the first down.
So it'll be first down. Balls are at the 12-yard line. Dredge going to roll left, and that's going to be a hold. Dredge, he's going to end up getting down to the 1, but that was one that I could see from here. As number 44 for Idaho Falls, that's Brooks Jensen. Jensen, you can see his jersey is all botched up there around his shoulder. He was being held. And there's two flags. I mean, I saw it from here, so that's going to bump Madison back 10 yards on this one. So it'll be 1st and 20 for the Bobcats. So twice we've seen penalties on very good runs from almost the same exact spot of the field for both teams. Idaho Falls theirs got canceled out by a hit by Madison. Madison's does not, and now they are pushed back. So they're going to be at the 25-yard line. And it's actually going to be 1st and 24, so it was 4 yards behind the line. So now this changes your dynamic of what you're going to do. Really, it's 1st and goal from the 25 because you got to get a first down at the 1-yard line again. So Dredge has nobody back there again, 2 up top, and this time they'll do a jet sweep. And Idaho Falls snuffs it out, gain of about 4. No, only a 3-yard gain that time coming in. That was Barkley Beck again on the run.
Yeah, those jet sweeps, they seem to take a long time to get to that corner, especially when you run it from this hash, running it to the other. And sometimes that gives the defense enough time to get over there. And IF did look like that defense obviously knew that, were able to respond to that one pretty quickly.
So 2nd down, they're going to say 21 yards. Ball at the 22. Again, it's essentially 2nd and goal from the 21. As Dredge is going to go deep, and he's got a receiver, and almost an incredible catch on the sideline by Chase Crane, but Crane just can't bring it in. He had his left hand on it, but wasn't able to corral it. Almost a huge, fantastic play by the Bobcats.
Yeah, that was a nice play design. They had their screen out to this coming towards this setup, and then did a little fake out there, and then put it up towards the wide receiver in the end zone. Almost made a fantastic catch bringing that one in.
So 3rd down, 3rd and 21 from the 22. For the Bobcats. And a flag coming out on this one. And Dredge stays on his feet, gets around the defenders, and he'll be brought down at the 15. We'll see what the flag is. A legal shift on the Bobcats. If I'm Idaho Falls here, man, you push them back another 5 yards. It's a long way to go. You essentially have to score a touchdown on this. And being that down, Dredge got down to the 15. That's. You think they could probably boot it from there. I think Idaho Falls might want them to do this again, and they do. They accept the penalty, and they'll make them do 3rd down again, this time from the 27.
Yeah, I think that they definitely want to push them back a little bit. Maybe, I'm not familiar with Madison's kicker, if this might be, just on the verge of his range. I don't know, but, definitely let's do it again. Yep. 5 more yards to get.
We've seen Bryce Dredge kick off twice for Madison. Both times have been fantastic kicks, but we haven't seen him kick one of those deep Ian Hershey field goals. Dredge is going to go deep to the end zone, and it is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. Oh, my goodness. So Idaho Falls accepts the penalty, and Madison comes back and makes them pay a 27-yard touchdown pass. to Chase Crane. He redeems himself on that play.
That was a nice ball. He put that up, and the receiver was able to run right under it and catch that one for that. You know, that was that was a good throw by Dredge. We've seen him run, and now we know he can throw it too. So
again, Idaho Falls accepted a penalty. This extra point looks good, and it is. So kicking that was number 47. That was Brayson Stoddard, the freshman. So a freshman kicker. Looking back, would you have changed your mind? Making a freshman kicker kick roughly a 34-yard field goal on that instead. I think if you're Idaho Falls, it's hard to play the what-if game, but right there you wonder, what if they had forced them to kick a field goal? Would it be 14-10? Would it be 7? Or would it be 7-10, or would it be 7-7 still?
No.
But either way, Madison takes full advantage of the extra play. So Madison 14-7. That's one Idaho Falls will think about for a while. You got to think. So some interesting developments in this game. Again, we thought that maybe a punt was touched and it rolled in the end zone and would have been a safety for Madison, would have given them 2 points. Wasn't. They said it wasn't touched, and so that was all for naught. And then Idaho Falls accepts a penalty on this last drive. Madison then makes them pay by scoring on third down. So here we go. So now Bryce Dredge, the sophomore, he's been kicking off, and that one's short. Drops at the 32. Idaho Falls going to have great field position. Trying to see who that was who returned it for the Tigers. That was number 49, Peter Molino. So Molino's been all over the place for Idaho Falls. And the Tigers will take over at the 44-yard line. Both of these teams, 2 losses on the season. Madison does have a win at the Rocky Mountain Rumble against Tooele. But both teams 0-2 against Idaho squads. First down for Idaho Falls. This time a short screen, and they got their receiver, Lida. Lida across the 50, over the 45, down to the 43-yard line of Madison. Madison has a loss to Owyhee, a week 0 game. They went across the state. Owyhee looking like a good. I think everybody is tired of Owyhee after they've only been open for 1 year. Of course, baseball team won state, basketball team won state. Now all of a sudden their football team's undefeated to start the year. And then they lost to Blackfoot last week, who might be the best team in 4A. This time a run by Lida as he cuts back and forth, and he might pick up a yard down to the 41, excuse me. On the other side, Idaho Falls has a loss to Thunder Ridge and a loss to Twin Falls on their record. Twin Falls looking pretty good this year. Of course, they've already defeated Valley View, and they defeated Idaho Falls this year. So, again, I mean, it really makes a difference in 4A when there are 16 spots. And a lot of those are at-large bids. There are, and when we go back to the Max Preps rankings, those affect as a timeout's going to be called here by Idaho Falls. As we are getting late here in the second quarter, 4:17. But the Max Preps rankings, the 4A last year, your state your conference champions get in and they get those top 4 bids. Outside of that, everything was determined by Max Preps rankings. Each district gets a certain set of bids, but then there are additional just at-large bids. So even if you don't qualify from your district at the 4A level, you have a great shot to get in. At least from what you look, again, I'm a fan of all teams in Idaho. Not one is my favorite. I like everybody. But District 3 over in the Treasure Valley, that is not a strong 4A conference. You look, you've got Skyview, who's 0-3, and really hasn't looked great in any of their games. Columbia, kind of the same thing for them. Ridgeview, kind of the same thing for them. There's 3 right there that are, I think they're going to be hard to win a game this year. So a couple of wins might get you in 4A, and then you just never know. You can punch that ticket, then it is everybody's 0-0, and all you got to do is win. So Idaho Falls here on second down. This one trying to float it across the middle to Murdoch. Falls incomplete. It'll be third down.
Yeah, when you say floated over the top, that was a floater pass. And Murdoch, you know, it's hard to miss that. What you say was 6'5"? Yeah, he's.
Yeah, 6'5", 210, and he was just out of his reach. And if he caught it, he had a little bubble right there around the 30-yard line. He probably would have picked up. He would have had the first down if you brought it in.
It looked a little messy in front of him, and I'm sure that's what Federer was trying to do, is just put it over the top, just put a touch on that and have Murdoch go get it. But
so rolling right, still rolling, finally throwing, and that one almost intercepted and then almost caught and then dropped. Zach Carden for Madison had two hands on it, and then it almost fell into the hands of Murdoch. And Murdoch couldn't get it, and it falls incomplete. So Idaho Falls gets inside Madison territory after the short kick, but not able to produce any points off of it.
Yeah, Federer held on the ball as long as he could. I mean, he ran that clear to this sideline nearest to us. And
so here's the kick, end over end. No one back for Madison. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback. No doubt that's a touchback. No debate. There as the Bobcats will take over, 1st and 10 at the 20 with 3:56 to go here in the first half. As they lead it 14-7, here's a great chance for that 4-minute drill to eat up some clock. And we've seen them be able to move the ball the last couple of drives. I mean, 2 drives, 2 scores for the Bobcats ever since that first one. So this is a great chance for them to add to that lead. Of course, Idaho Falls got the ball first, so Madison can score here. They're going to get the ball to start the second half. This is a great spot to be if you're the Bobcats. Dredge, another swing pass, and another great gain by the Bobcats. This one about 8 yards on first down out to the 28.
Yeah, that was just a nice swing pass to the running back coming out of there, and was able to get to the corner and make some yards.
Again, that's Barkley Beck. There's a lot of young players on this Madison team getting significant playing time today. That definitely bodes well, you got to think, for the Bobcats for this season and for the seasons to come, as a timeout going to be called by Idaho Falls. Well, they take that timeout. We'll thank Alta Insurance. They are a locally owned agency with locations both right here in Idaho Falls and in Twin Falls. Alta's mission is to help their community by providing policies personalized to each customer's needs. The community they work in and live in is their #1 priority, and as such, they offer a wide range of insurance products and companies able to take care of their community's assets. Alta Insurance has recently merged with Archibald Levin Insurance in Rexburg. The same great names with the same great service together. Again, that's Alta Insurance. Be sure to check them out for all your insurance needs. I guess if you're a Madison fan, you can check out the Archibald Levitt group if they've merged together as well. So again, second down, about 2 yards to go for Madison. The clock is stopped with 3:21 to go till halftime. Dredge, he's just going to run right up the middle this time. He gets the first down by maybe a yard. He's across to the 31. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. Their clock continues to run. 3:15 on the clock.
Yeah, once again, I do believe that Dredge has got the option on that to either hand that off to the running back coming across there or come forward. I mean, I think he is making a read on that. Yeah, 3 yards seems like it's going to be pretty easy for Dredge to pick up once he puts his head down.
First down, Dredge going to go to the air, right side. Receiver comes back, and they're going to say the ball hit the ground. It was intended for Chase Crane. Crane, of course, scored a touchdown on the last drive. 27-yard reception. That one skips before it gets to him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
when you're on this hash and you're making that pass out there, that is a long pass to make. You know, that's probably, I guess, would mean why he skipped that ball to him.
So 2nd down. Dredge gets rid of everybody. He just keeps it himself. Right, left side this time. Lots of room to run. Good block on the outside. The block came from number 23, Easer. Just enough. I mean, just enough to let Dredge pick up that first down. I think he's right at the sticks. They might say he's actually short. No, they're going to say first down. He needed the 41. He got it. So 2:20 to go. So Madison almost used about 2 minutes just picking up 2 first downs. We'll see if they increase the urgency here. Handoff this time up the middle. Goes for about 6 yards.
Yeah, when you're picking up 5-6 yards a carry, it's hard to get away from that.
Right,
you're always going to be ahead of the sticks. So.
Why would you change it, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to pick that up, and that's been the difference. Idaho Falls, fantastic first drive, but ever since, they cannot run the ball. They've been getting 1, 2, at best 3 yards, and Madison has been getting 5 or 6 every time. And Dredge is going to go deep, and he's got a man wide open, and it's caught. What a catch. Oh, no, incomplete. Oh, man, I thought that Nash Humphreys came down with it. Wow, Humphreys high-pointed it at the right spot, but the defense for Idaho Falls holds.
Yeah, that ball seemed to hang up there just a little bit. That you know, and it was a great attempt to catch that, and he was wide open. Had that ball been thrown out a little bit out front where he could have got to it, Idaho Falls' defenders were not back there at that time. So.
If Dredge leads him, he's in for 6, like you said. Just kind of hung it up there a little too long. So now it's a 3rd down and the clock stopped. So Idaho Falls, see if they can stop it. No, they can't, and here comes a flag, though. So Dredge, again, he is going to keep that ball, and you don't even have to guess. He's going to keep it. It's just, is he going to go middle? Is he going to go left? Is he going to go right? But this time a hold is going to push the Bobcats back 10 yards and redo 3rd down.
That's the nice thing about having a senior and a quarterback, you know, that has some playing time and stuff. He can read things out there that, you know, maybe last year or maybe, you know, however many, when he first started, obviously wasn't able to see those things. And I assume on those, they run what I think is kind of a read option. He's reading something, but like you said, he's going to keep it. He just doesn't know which way, where's he going to go?
There's been times where you can tell he wants to throw it, but then he keeps it. He has the green light, and this time an out route is caught across the 50 and a first down for Madison. A great route run by Crane that time. Crane got around the 48 and came back to the ball, pass right on the money from Dredge and a first down.
Yeah, they definitely have run that route a few times in practice.
Was a great play call on 3rd down when they really haven't, they've gone to the air more on this drive than they have in the past, but that a great pass and a big first down for Madison as we are under a minute to go. So now the urgency has to come from the Bobcats. 53 seconds to go till halftime. Dredge on his feet, rolling right, and wrapped up and dropped. And guess who it is? Yeah, Peter Molino on the tackle. And he still got like 7 yards at the end of the day. That's just what Dredge can do. He's going to pick up a good chunk of yards. So 42 seconds to go till halftime. Madison up 14-7, driving with the ball at the 38-yard line. No, they're they're going to move this thing back. It's at looks like the 38. I thought he was down more around the 35 when they originally spotted it, but it'll be 2nd and about 5.
either way, you got, Dredge took a big hit, but I think he also delivered a little bit of that too, and that's one thing that I'm gathering from this is that he's looking to run and he's not going to slide or anything like that. He's going to take it and he's going to put down his shoulder and try to get as many yards as he can.
Yeah, he's been great at lowering his shoulder and not shying away from the contact and probably picking up more yards than a normal quarterback would, who would maybe give himself up after a couple yards. And they have really kept Idaho Falls guessing on these drives here in the first half as Dredge has just had his way again. He had a 20-yard touchdown run to start things off here. That's really when we saw him get going. They had that first drive, and they didn't really do that much run with him, and they've kind of switched to that, and it's been very successful. So second and about 5 for the Bobcats. 42 seconds to go. Dredge looking to pass, and wide open on the sideline was Nash Humphreys, the sophomore, and he picks up a first down and gets out of bounds. 35 seconds to go. So now Madison can do whatever they want through the air. So the offense really clicking right now, and the Idaho Falls defense is backpedaling. They were so good early on that first drive after the touchdown, and really they have just given up a lot of yards to the Bobcats since then. Dredge is going to look to pass again. He goes left side. This one a little too high and out of bounds. Was looking for Crane, but it's one of those where nobody was going to catch that, a receiver or a defender, and goes out of bounds. 29 seconds to go till halftime.
You might kind of wonder maybe if IF defense might be just a little bit winded too. They've been out there quite a bit, kind of taking punch after punch, 5-6 yards here, and they might be getting a little bit tired because on that last pass he had, time to throw. The pressure is not really there. Obviously, you got to respect him because he is a runner, but at the same time, seems like maybe not getting the pass rush they may want to have on him.
Comes that swing pass and wrapped up. Big hit for Idaho Falls, and that was the defensive play they needed. A hit in the backfield from Tayson Kirkham. That's going to be a loss of a couple yards. They lose about 5 yards on that. 25 seconds to go. It's going to be 3rd and 15.
Yeah, the defender was able to read that and get right there and blow that play up.
We've seen both teams run that successfully pretty much every time. It's just a matter of getting past the wide receiver blockers, who have all been, both sides, been doing a good job. But like you mentioned, Lynn, Idaho Falls defense, they've been on the field a lot. When the offense has come out, they've had a couple 3-and-outs, two 3-and-outs, and then that last drive they picked up 1 first down. But outside of that, it has been 3-and-out or 6-and-out for Idaho Falls. And that defense just having to work a lot tonight. Been on the field for a long time. It's a lot to ask for a team or a side of the ball to be out there for too long.
Sure, and a lot of this sitting in our lazy boy chairs are going, well, good grief, if I could be 16, 17-year-old again, I could go both ways and play that much. But you do get winded out there playing with, this much ball.
3rd and 15. Dredge is looking to pass. Across the middle, wide open is Humphreys, and he's in for the touchdown. Nash Humphreys wide open at the 3-yard line, and he goes in for the score with 18 seconds to play.
Yeah, that was a seam route right down the seam. He was pretty much wide open. Dredge was able to hit him, right in stride with that. Little to no pressure on the quarterback there to get that ball out to him, and just made a great pass.
So the extra point on the way is up, and that looks good. It is good. So that makes it 21-7 Madison. So the Bobcats, 3 straight touchdowns to lay it on Idaho Falls after that first drive from the Tigers, which ate up almost 5 minutes of clock. And since then, it has been all Madison. 21-7, Bobcats lead it with 18 seconds till halftime. So we'll see what Idaho Falls does here if they decide to take a shot at the end zone or just knee it. But again, we mentioned it, Madison kicked off. They're going to get the ball to start the second half. And if I'm Idaho Falls, I think I got to take at least some sort of opportunity. I know it's dangerous if you're back there inside your 20, but man, the way that offense has been moving for Madison, you got to think we're a drive away from being down 28-7, and that's a hole that looks a lot deeper than 21-7.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we'll see what kind of kickoff we get here. If they kind of end up with what they had last time, maybe they do something.
Yeah, so they pooch it short, and you know what? If I'm Idaho Falls, I'll take it.
No kidding.
Only a second comes off the clock, and they'll have less than 60 yards. The ball will be at the 41. So 59. I mean, this is two good passes, really, right? If you can get 20 yards on a play, which, you know, it's easy to say that. We haven't seen that much from Idaho Falls yet. And kudos to that Madison defense who has not let Idaho Falls go deep at all. They have been all over anything that has been deep. So it's going to be up to Federer to get something done here. The senior hasn't had much luck through the air. He's going to scramble right, and he's going to scoot out of bounds, picks up maybe the original line of scrimmage. They're gonna spot it at the 41, so no gain. Burns 6 seconds and picks up nothing. And that is where we've seen him. Federer has been on the run most of the day. He hasn't had time in the pocket to just sit and read the routes. He's had to scramble pretty much every time. He's got some time this time, and that one comes up short. Was looking for a receiver in the middle of the field. I see who that was for Idaho Falls, number 10, Trey Piper. Piper was open, but they just couldn't get the ball to him.
Yeah, he had plenty of time. It seemed like that time to get, you know, some reads on some routes out there, but wasn't able to get it to his wide receiver.
So 6 seconds to go. This probably will be, barring a penalty, the last play of the half. And you know what? You can't take the timeouts. Oh, they just take a knee. And that'll be it. So after one half of play, Madison leads this one 21-7. We're going to take a halftime break here and be back to recap the first half here on IdahoSports.com.
What is community? It's Friday Night Lights with laughter as post-game commentary. It's fun runs, fun rides. It's passing the boot for local heroes. And it's breaking ground for groundbreaking startups. This is what makes a community. And it's what makes a community bank. It's fertile financial resources turned back into local soil. Here's to people helping others thrive. This is community banking. D.L. Evans Bank, since 1904.
I'm Connor from Idaho Falls. In high school, I started having trouble with my muscles. Playing football, kids half my size were pushing me around. My mom and I spent months traveling the country looking for answers. We finally got one right here at IRMAC. I have a rare disease that causes my cells to lose energy. After 2 years of using a wheelchair, the therapists at IRMAC taught me how to walk again. Now I can do the things that I enjoy and live the life I want. That's why I say, take me to IRMAC.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
Some days, I choose the most difficult trail. I test my limits.
Taking the hard path isn't always easy, but I know it's the right way.
When I get done with my ride and I look back at what I've just accomplished, I feel amazing.
It takes courage and determination to do hard things.
But you can do them.
Quitting tobacco and vaping is possible.
You decide when. We'll show you how. Learn more at projectfilter.org or call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
We're Valley-wide cooperative. For 100 years, we've been your first choice for residential and commercial propane, fuels, oils, and lubricants. We service HVAC, install water heaters, propane tanks, and accessories. And yes, we'll even deliver right where you need it. Because for us, serving is more than a job, it's a way of life. We are proud to employ your neighbors and to be a cornerstone of your community. We're Valley-wide. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're here for you.
It can be a lot, trying to figure out how to make it. How to dream big and to wonder, what if? Because no matter where you are in life, if you don't know what's possible in Idaho, it's hard to keep asking, what if? Which is exactly why Next Steps Idaho was created, with everything from smart tools that help you figure out careers you might be suited for, to training and education options for you. So keep asking what if at nextsteps.idaho.gov.
You can't make summer stand still, so make the most of every last second with a new Toyota at Toyota's National Sales Event.
During Toyota's National Sales Event, discover our wide variety of fuel-efficient electrified vehicles. Toyota, let's go places.
At D.L. Evans Bank, we haven't invested in a deep line of digital banking services to help infuse more banking into your life. Just more living. D.L. Evans Bank. This is community banking.
Well, is IRMAC really the best hospital for pediatric care? I mean, aren't all ERs the same?
Not all ERs are the same. IRMAC's ER has been delivering high-level clinical care for over 3 decades. As a Level 2 trauma and burn center, IRMAC is well equipped to handle pediatric injury and illness. All IRMAC ER nurses have higher level pediatric certifications, and that's just not common in all ERs. And this expertise and experience is found only at IRMAC.
Welcome back to Rabston Field, as looks like we've got Junior Dance Day here at halftime. That's always fun to see. So again, 21-7, Madison leads this one at the half. Lynn, tell us how we got there.
Well, to start off, IF actually started off like they were going to take this game over from the beginning and march down the field, and they had a 4-yard run from Colton Lyda, start us off 7-0. And then from then it was Madison. Madison had a 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter, had a 20-yard run from their quarterback Dredge, tied it up 7-7. Then 5:24 left in the second quarter. Dredge makes a 27-yard pass. That was to number 3 Chase Crane. Extra point obviously good on that too. 14-7 Madison. And then with 18 seconds left in the first half, quarterback Dredge makes a 30-yard pass to number 80 Nash Humphreys. Made a nice pass on that one, a touchdown pass of 30 yards, 21-7 with the extra point good. And that's where we're at halftime, 21-7. Yeah, it's looking like obviously it's good to be able to go to halftime and look at what's happening. Hopefully, I just don't see where Madison, kind of I don't know what they changed, because obviously IF doesn't have an answer for them on defense right now, getting 4 or 5, 6 yards a pop on the runs, and then it looked like IF was going to come out and be able to do the same thing to Madison. I thought it might go back and forth a little bit after that first drive, but then since then it's kind of sputtered a little bit for Idaho Falls. So obviously they've got some work to do on the old drawing board in there at halftime. Try to figure some things out, how to open that offense up a little bit, give Federer a little more time, and then just make a couple good throws, good catches, and hopefully get that running game obviously going again. But like I said, Madison looks like, I don't know. IF's going to have to figure out something a little bit different on that. I don't know what you would do.
At the end of the day, they have to stop Dredge.
Yeah.
And they haven't done it. And they're going to have to do it if they want to come back in this game.
Sure.
And right now, they just haven't shown that they can do it. And that's going to be a problem, is he can do it with his legs, and he eats up clock. We've only been on the air for about an hour and 20 minutes. That first half, we are in the middle of halftime, and it's only an hour and 9 minutes since kickoff. This is a fast-moving game because Dredge is just keeping it on the ground. So let's go ahead and take a look around the state. Again, this weekend, a very strange one. The air quality in the Treasure Valley is horrendous today, and you can tell it's getting like that over here. But we were able to sneak these games in before the air quality got too bad over here. But most of District 3 is shut down today. A lot of District 4 shut down, but most of District 3. So, and those games, a lot of those schools were tentatively hoping to play tomorrow. But I don't think those are going to get played either. I think that the weather is going to stay smoky for the weekend. So it's going to be interesting to see, because this is going to change. Like, you really think about it, the Treasure Valley teams might not play the full schedule, while East Idaho teams will. So we'll see how that shakes out. So let's take a trip around the 5A right now. Emmett smothered Lake City today, 55-27. That game played at Baker City, Oregon. Broadcast live on Idaho Sports. So Emmett, one of those teams at the 4A where I think the class of the 4A this year is Emmett, Bishop Kelly, Blackfoot, and Skyline. I think it's those four. I think Pocatello's in that mix, Twin Falls is in that mix, and Sandpoint. But I think it's those four that we're going to see at the end of the year. Other games going on right now down in Pocatello. Highland only 7-0 over Century. Maybe that one we expected to be a little bit more in hand for Highland, but the Diamondbacks hanging around just up the road in Rigby, their initial game on the new turf. And did we expect any different? It's all Rigby right now, 35-0 over Bonneville. That one well in hand for the Trojans, who are just rolling, who again seem to be the class of the 5A, looking to make it 3 state championships in 4 years. Let's take a look at the 4A. Right now, Burley leads Shelley 24-21. Minico all over Mountain Home 20-0. Pocatello leads Twin Falls 20-7. So Pocatello, they were a team that was right there with Skyline all year long last year. Let's see what else we got here. Again, a lot of games just not being played tonight. Jackson Hole at the 3A level all over Wood River right now, 12-0. Wood River, one of those schools that is a 4A school, but was approved to play down for football only at the 3A level. The Wolverines just have not had any success at the 4A level. I think it's a good move for them to let them get some shots there. South Fremont leads Aberdeen right now, 7-0. I know Aberdeen's a 2A school, but, man, the Tigers are really good this year. They beat Declo last week. Aberdeen looks like a factor in the 2A level. Sugar Salem leads Star Valley right now, 21-7 at the half. Westside over Marsh Valley, 12-0. Again, there's a lot of games on the schedule that just are not getting played in the Magic Valley and the Treasure Valley. New Plymouth and Vale, so the western edge, like the Fruitland area, is okay. So New Plymouth, they moved their game to Fruitland to squeeze it in. And so right now they lead Vale 7-0. Wendell leads Ryrie 7-6 at the half. Take a look at the 1A level. Notice, that's another game. Notice just a little outside of the Treasure Valley, going towards Oregon, towards Parma. They're all over Clearwater Valley right now, 62-14. That's another one you can catch on Idaho Sports. Raft River leads Lighthouse Christian 16-6. Butte County all over Water Springs today here in Idaho Falls, 66-34. The Pirates with the win. Coming back after they lost last week. They held the lead at halftime against Cary, lost it, and Cary actually knocks off Butte County last week. So let's take a look. Also, Grace and Castleford. Castleford wins 8-0. What? Grace beat Cary week 1 7-0, and then falls to Castleford 8-0. Castleford was a very good team last year at the 1A D2 level. They gave Cary problems. They were a very good team, expected to be very good this year as well. And then another score, Valley, after being 2A for a couple years, drops down to 1A D1. They lead Glens Ferry 18-14 at the halftime break there. And that's it right now. Again, lots of games just not happening tonight around the state. Of course, the North games are just barely kicked off and getting underway. So it is going to be an interesting night of football to track around the state of Idaho tonight with these cancellations. And I mean, you can see the moon across the way from here is just orange with the smoke in the air. So it'll be interesting to see how this sets up the rest of the season. What's going to happen with these games in the Treasure Valley if they can't get them in tomorrow? Do they play them on Monday? You wouldn't think so. They wouldn't want to do Monday. Do they play Monday and move everything back to Saturday the next week? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't know. And, I mean, it's going to affect things. I think I'm going to take the Middleton Meridian game as an example. Let's say it doesn't happen. I look at Middleton's schedule. This is 5A. I look at Middleton's schedule, and I think they're going to be favored or neck and neck in most of their games this year that they have left, except for the one today, which Meridian I think would win. Now you take off a potential loss from their record. Does that overinflate a team at the end of the year when it comes to max prep rankings versus a Madison or Idaho Falls that lost a game they had to play when Middleton probably would have lost that game? So it's just an interesting, I don't know what the answer is. It's just going to be interesting to see what happens after this weekend and what is all said and done. I think people are going to try to get those in as much as possible, but I don't know. And in the past, they used to do, when the smoke got bad, they would just cram everybody in to the Kibbe Dome up north in Moscow. So I don't know if everybody's on the phone and driving up Highway 95 right now trying to get to Moscow as fast as they can, and we'll just have a heck of a day. And this is kind of cool, this light show going on here. But it'll be an interesting weekend of high school sports in Idaho. As the lights are on, the teams are out. And the clock is going to hit 0, but as per usual, they'll add on 3 more minutes. Just add the minutes on beforehand, because this happens every time as the officials are pumping their 3 fingers up.
That's all right. That gives everybody some time to get some popcorn and get ready for the second half.
That's right. We will step away for a couple of minutes. We'll be back with the start of the second half here shortly on IdahoSports.com.
Well, why should I take my kiddos to ERMAC?
Simply put, ERMAC has the most experience taking care of kids. As a Level 2 trauma center, we are well equipped to take care of pediatric injury and illness. All ERMAC ER nurses have high-level pediatric certifications, and that's just not common in all ERs. This expertise and experience is found only at ERMAC.
Wow, that's great. I had no idea.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
welcome back as we are just about set.
One other game out there that I didn't see the score on, but the Thunder Ridge Skyline game, kind of interesting just because that is the inaugural game of the Berger Bowl. That's Scott Berger against his son coaching over there at Thunder. Be kind of interesting to see, and I think the fans from Madison can appreciate that. They had the Buck Bowl for years and years on this side of the state with between Madison and Blackfoot. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some score updates for some of these games, some of the other ones. Yeah, right. I'm seeing a lot of schools in the Treasure Valley say that they're going to play tomorrow at 6 p.m. We will see if that happens because from what I've heard, the weather is supposed to be the same tomorrow.
Madison, make some noise for your Bobcat. Now Tiger Nation, show them how you make some noise for your Tiger.
All right, here we go. So again, Idaho Falls is going to start us off with kicking it deep to Madison, and it will hit and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Sean Benson's kick out of the end zone for a touchback.
So Madison will take over 1st and 10. I'm trying to find the light switch in here, but it always makes it hard to see. It's dark, and we're in the box. Our little room's dark, but it always makes it hard to see when you turn the light on. All right, here we go. Madison 1st and 10. We'll see if they stick with the tried and true method of Dredge on the ground to start things off here in the second half. And sure enough, they do. And Dredge forward, and he's got a first down.
Yeah, I don't think there was much reading on that one. They were able to just take that off tackle and just plow ahead for some yards there. So. Different half, just same same recipe here.
Yeah, you just copy, paste. Control C, Control V. Let's do it again. So Dredge back in the shotgun again. Nobody back there with him. And look out. He keeps it. And they just can't bring him down as he continues to roll forward. Picks up about 8 yards down to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, same thing. You know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So just he's able to catch a little bit of a seam, and he'll deliver a hit on anyone that hits him. And it seems like he is able to either make that first initial hit miss a little bit, or that he's not going to go down with without a first initial hit. Doesn't seem like he just keeps barreling right along.
I mean, until Idaho Falls proves that they can tackle him, Madison's going to keep at it, and they keep the ball on the ground, and into the second level is the back across the 40 down to the 36-yard line. That looks like Barkley Beck on the carry again. Beck, the sophomore. You got to like what you've seen. We've seen a couple of sophomores contribute in big ways out here for Madison. I mean, you look, Chase Crane is a junior who scored the touchdown. Nash Humphreys is a sophomore who scored a touchdown. I mean, and then we've seen a couple of great runs here by Beck, who's a sophomore. And so you say, man, Madison, great mix of seniors, but as well as underclassmen. And Dredge keeps it again, and he's still on his feet, and he plows through a tackle and has another first down.
Yeah. Don't seem to have an answer. The run before was actually they allowed that pursuit to come and then do the handoff, a little delayed handoff, and that guy was able to scoot out, and then Dredge just takes it and goes on this last run.
It's just, I think at the end of the day is the difference, this offensive line for Madison. I mean, you look down there, the big guys for Madison, number 78, Bray Meekum down there. Number 79, Rex Salas down there. I mean, Salas is a sophomore. Meekum's a junior. So these big bodies down on the line are young. This team is built right now, I think, Madison, for success not only this year, but next year, and a false start here, just as I say that. But you look also on the line, Braden Thewson, he's a senior. Get who's down there as well, number 69, Andrew Walsh is a senior. So they do have a couple seniors on the line, but they're just a big line. And Idaho Falls, it's not like anybody doesn't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They just can't stop it.
They just can't stop it. There's one thing knowing what's going to happen, another thing to stop it. And, obviously the offensive linemen will never get enough credit for what they do. You know, these guys are making the holes available for Dredge, for really whoever carries the ball right now. And IF has got to figure out a way to shed those blocks and make some key tackles on, closer to that line of scrimmage, if not behind the line of scrimmage.
Almost 3 minutes already eaten off the clock on this drive, and Dredge keeps it again. He's into the second level. Flags come flying. He ends up scoring, but I think it's going to come back. Nobody really clapping their hands over here on the Madison side because all the flags came out. But he's still keeping on his feet. Idaho Falls just doesn't have an answer. And, let's say Madison punches this one in. It's a 4-score game. It's going to be, 3-score game. Idaho Falls got to come out with an answer, and that's just what we haven't seen, is they're going to have to put together a drive that puts points on the board and honestly eats up some clock, too, to give the defense a break. So 9:10 to go. It'll be 1st and 20 for Madison, ball at the 30-yard line. And there it is again. He keeps it. Idaho Falls, good tackle that time. Staying home, Carlos Aguilar wraps him up, the 6'4", 245-pound linebacker. Well, he's listed as a lineman, but he was kind of floating around right there. But a good tackle by Aguilar to only limit Dredge to 4 yards, who would still, you pick up 4 yards every play, you're going to be in a great spot at the end of the day.
Sure.
So 2nd down, 16 yards to go, 8:30 on the clock in the third quarter. Handoff. And only about a yard gain. Looked like on the tackle there, number 77. I don't have a number for 77 for Idaho Falls.
No, he was able to. They were able to, limit the push on that offensive line, and were able to limit that to nearly no gain on that run.
So 3rd down and 13 yards to go. We've seen a long 3rd down play converted from Madison in a similar spot of the field. And Dredge, he's going to go wide open is Humphreys, and Humphreys in for his 2nd score of the day. And that's what you get when so much pressure comes from Dredge. When you know he can run the ball and score it at any time, you've got to keep a man on him. It opens up the defense, and Humphreys is in for his 2nd score of the day.
They had also set that up as though they were going to throw that swing pass out there, to the back coming over there, and then they had 2 receivers, both of them going deep, one on the outside, one running that seam, and again just was able to hit that right in stride. Nice pass and for the touchdown.
So a whistle on the extra point. Offsides against Idaho Falls. So we'll scoot the ball up about 4 feet and kick it again. Again, Madison using freshman kicker Brayson Stoddard. And that was a high snap. Holder gets it down and through. Great job, Javen Bell, able to recover and bring it down. And Stoddard knocks it in, makes it 28-7 in favor of Madison.
Well, that score right before halftime, huge, because that's that's a two-score swing right there within the matter of the end of the first half into the second quarter, and then taking that opening drive and they able to punch it in there. That's huge.
Yeah, that drive eats up about 5 minutes. And Madison just chipping away. I mean, just getting it done on the ground, keeping the ball alive and clock moving and scoring and just making it tough for Idaho Falls. And this kickoff is short again, or this one long, excuse me. And Idaho Falls is going to be brought down. Big hit. That one tackle, that's Porter Cotto on the tackle.
Yeah, we'll see if Idaho Falls can get something going here. Offense has kind of sputtered that, after that first drive they had, and then need to have an answer. At least anything give their defense. I know we're early in the third quarter, but that defense, I don't know. Something doesn't look quite right. Maybe get a drive going here.
This time a pass deep and is caught, and that is what the Tigers needed. Finally a long reception downfield for Fetter, and it's caught by number 32, Easton Watkins. Watkins, just a sophomore, but 6'2", and Idaho falls quickly to the line. And another deep pass, and that one is incomplete. But a flag comes flying. I wonder if somebody got held up. The receiver coming across for Madison, or excuse me, for Idaho Falls was behind, and a flag in that position, you usually see a pass interference or a hold, and you do. There is a pass interference against Idaho Falls. So Blackfoot leads Hillcrest at halftime, but only 7-0 in that one. So that kind of a surprising score. Trying to find some more score updates for you out there. Federer rolling right, and that pass is caught out of bounds at the 30. Positive movement on that reception by Piper. It's not much, but it's forward progress. So it'll be second down. That one almost a disaster as Lyda had a hard time getting the handoff, but he gets control of it and picks up a first down. So this is a drive, much like we saw the first of the game from Idaho Falls, and this is what they've been needing to do, as now they're moving the ball, knocking on the door to the red zone.
Yeah, it looked like a bobbled handoff there, though. Could have been disaster.
Short pass is complete in the middle of the field. And Idaho Falls, I like what they're doing here. They're not trying to get it all back at once. They're getting 4 or 5 yards, just like Madison does, and it might come through the air on short little passes. It doesn't matter what it is, but just saying, hey, we're just going to pick up methodically first down after first down, and they're doing it here. And this time, another catch on the outside. Once again, that's Easton Watkins, and wow, they're going to spot him only about the 14. I thought he was closer to the 12, but ball beyond the 14 is where they go out. It'll be third down and a long one, and they plow forward, and the rugby scrum has a first down for the Tigers. rugby scrum, 4-year-old soccer, whatever you want to call that.
Sure. The little bit different running style between Federer and Dredge there, but Federer was able to pick up the first down and keep moving. It looks like IF also has gone with a no huddle right now, trying to pick up the tempo, trying to get something going, I think. And it looks like to me, I mean, so far this drive, it seems like it's working.
Yeah, there's 5:45 to go here in the third quarter. Idaho Falls needs a sense of urgency. Drifting right, and that one is caught. Great defense, but an even better catch on the outside. Looked like Taylor Carden. Carden with a reception, and it was a nice play, but it only picked up about 5 yards. And Madison takes a timeout as this drive is just what the doctor ordered for Idaho Falls.
I mentioned them going no huddle, but yeah, they are down by 3 scores. They do have to, there is some urgency there, and definitely needed that right now. Yep.
And what they have to do is I think they got to get a turnover. They have to force a turnover. If they want to win this game.
Well, you know, they've got to get a stop, you know, of some sort, and on defense. And this, helps the defense out, having an offense that can sustain a drive, give them some time to try to figure things out, which you'd hope they'd be able to do at halftime there. But that defense had been on the field a long time, even though we're, like I said earlier, that we're only early in the third quarter. But this is Idaho Falls has put forth a good drive so far, and see if they can capitalize on it.
So second down, about 5 yards to go. This one, a quick jump pass, and it's caught for a touchdown. So Federer faked going inside and did that little Tim Tebow type jump pass, and he catches it, or it's caught in the end zone by Easton Watkins for a 5-yard touchdown. So Idaho Falls punches it in. 5:26 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, they were able to just do a little jump pass, and Easton Watkins was able to just get right behind the linebackers and be right there for that jump pass.
Extra point is up and good. So that makes it 28-14 in favor of Madison still, but Idaho Falls not going away just yet. The Bobcats still lead it, and at the end of the day, Idaho Falls is going to have an answer for Ben Dredge, and they have not had that answer so far today. He has just had his way on offense, and really he's run the ball so well that it opens up the pass game. I mean, you look, the past couple of touchdowns, so he ran it in on a 20-yard run, but then he has 3 touchdown passes after that. And they're all deep, a 27-yard pass, a 30-yard pass, and a 25-yard pass. So they've been baiting the defense, and when they need to go deep, they've been successful in it and been picking up those big gains. And that's what's given them this lead. On the other hand, Idaho Falls has just slowly chipped away on those 2 drives that they've scored on, but the defense has to show up on this drive.
Yeah, you got a little bit of momentum back as far as if you're Idaho Falls, and hoping that defense can keep it going.
This kick deep again, and out of the back of the end zone, it'll be a touchback. So a ball will come out to the 20. 80-yard drives haven't been a problem for Madison so far. They've been able to convert on a couple of them so far. See what the Bobcats dial up. If you're Idaho Falls, I mean, it's tough. You're in a tough spot here because you know Ben Dredge is going to run it. But then you have to be at least tentatively aware that he can throw it too, and you've been burned on both. So Madison's offense has played a phenomenal game, and it's left Idaho Falls guessing more than they would have liked. Dredge, he's going to keep this one again, and once again he's across the 30. He has a first down. And Dredge wants a hit after the fact. He might have had a point, but either way, he picks up a first down and picks up 13 yards. And it's just one of those where you know it's coming and there's just nothing they can do. It's that offensive line again. I mean, they're tough in there for Madison, and they're just opening up all sorts of gaps. One more guy on the line we haven't mentioned, number 54, Hiram Allen. In there, Allen, the center for this squad, leading the way. And Dredge just goes right up the middle again, and he gets contact and gets through into the second level. No one's going to catch him across the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Madison. Ben Dredge takes it 66 yards for the touchdown.
There was no read option there. That was a designed run from the get-go, and he had the hole to bust it through and was able to do it, and no one's going to catch him.
That drive only took about 16 plus 26. Quick math, that's 42 seconds, right? I think. And just like that, Madison answers back. Extra point is up and good. 35-14, 4:44 to go. And just like that, man, I tell you, tough going right now.
Yeah, that any momentum that Idaho Falls has, they've got to get it back again, which is what you've got to do, right? I mean, but we've got to figure out how to. You've got to figure out how to stop that offense, which Idaho Falls right now does not have an answer for Dredge or that offensive line. They're getting pushed. I mean, if anything, he's getting hit 5 yards down the field and breaking that first tackle and then just busting it loose from there. So,
yeah, there was contact in the backfield. Idaho Falls had a hand on Dredge, but he is just so shifty. He got out of it and then run 66 yards for a touchdown. I do have an update. Skyline leads Thunder Ridge 27-20 at the half down the road. And this kick deep for the Tigers, and lots of room to run. This is a great return for Idaho Falls across the 40, down close to midfield. And that's a way to answer if you're the Tigers. A great return by Parker Elliott. So Parker Elliott, the junior, a great return. But is it too little, too late, as the defense for Idaho Falls just can't come up with a stop? And that jump pass again is somehow caught. It was deflected around the 40, but found its way into the arms of, once again, Easton Watkins. So Watkins, he's just a sophomore, playing a big role here today.
Yeah, I don't know how that ball got through there. I mean, it did get deflected, but he was able to come, Easton Watkins was able to come down with it.
Quick pass is caught to the 30. Taylor Carden, wrapped up by number 8, Connor Wilcox for Madison. Tayson Clark also in there on the tackle. So Idaho Falls, last couple of drives, looking good for the Tigers. This one a deep pass. Can they get it to him? Just over the head of Trey Piper.
Looked like Piper had his man beat, just led him a little too much on that pass from Federer. He had some good protection there. That offensive line seemed to give him a little bit of time there. Pretty good. Again, like I said before, they're running without a huddle, trying to keep this this up-tempo offense going a little bit. Worked for them last drive.
Third down, they keep it on the ground where they just haven't had any success, and none right there either. Lida picks up maybe 2. So it's going to be 4th and a long 2 for the Tigers.
Almost like you said earlier in the game, between the 40 and 20, you're looking probably running 4-down territory. See if they could pop one there.
Especially being down 21, you can't. got to go for it here no matter what, as Lida ends up losing some yardage back to the 30. And it'll go back over to Idaho, or to Madison, excuse me. So that 4th down try, I'm very surprised they kept it on the ground right there. And Madison will take over. And at this point, Madison up by 21 with the ball. You got to think, you know what, let's just eat some clock here as we're at the 3-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. And Dredge keeps it again, and he's across the 35 down to about the 38-yard line. And again, 5 to 8 yards has been what Dredge can pick up when he wants to. And again, it's tough. You don't know if this is more. We're far enough along in the season where we kind of know how other teams have played and what they've done. And so you kind of have more of an idea of, is this more Madison being very good, or Idaho Falls maybe that defense is not as good as it was a year ago. And, whoa, we lost a tent over the injury table. And finally, Idaho Falls brings Dredge down in the backfield. He loses a yard. But again, Madison lost a game 13-7 at Hawaii. So that defense held strong, only gave up 13 points, and then they only were able to score 7. So you look at that, and now you learn, you're starting to learn things about other teams. You say, well, maybe Hawaii is actually, they held Madison to only 7 points, and look what they're doing here against an Idaho Falls squad that hung around in their 2 other games. 25-15 to Thunder Ridge, a game that, like you mentioned, they led 15-0 in that one. So 3rd down for Madison. Idaho Falls has to get a stop, and they get it. Dredge went back to pass, and finally the Tigers defense gets back there. Dredge has to throw it, and nobody's there. Has a conversation with his receiver saying, hey, I thought you were coming back. And that's clearly what Dredge thought, that the route was a comeback. The receivers didn't. Now it's 4th down.
Yeah, they weren't exactly on the same page on that one. Idaho Falls was able to get a little bit of pressure on Dredge that time, and but if nobody's home to catch that pass, then that's not going to happen.
So this punt taken and dropped again. Idaho Falls had trouble with that all day at the 30, and the fumble. Ball is out. Madison scoops it up. Only one man to beat. And Madison has it inside the 10. So all day long, Jaden Jones has just had trouble on getting punts. He's dropped a couple. He had the one that was almost a safety, which I'm still not sure on that one. And now he had trouble catching that one. He fumbles it, and Madison now in business, looking to maybe add that final nail in his coffin.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be able to bust that free for a little bit and get some positive yards on that punt return. But obviously you got to hold on to the ball and see that entire punt return through. So
it was a big hit that came up from the special teams for Madison that pried that one free. That's the first turnover of the game. So there's only a minute left here in the first quarter, and we've only seen 1 turnover. So one positive to take away, I guess, if you're Idaho Falls is it wasn't a turnover machine game. It just couldn't get it done the other ways. Dredge will keep it on the ground, and a big hit. That looked like that was number 22 on the tackle for Idaho Falls, Braxton Packer. Packer, the junior, with a big stop. And we are under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Again, a fast-moving game here from Rafston Field. Madison going to be in no hurry to snap this ball as they're up 21 with the ball inside the 10. Second down and goal. Dredge going to throw the sweet pass, and are they going to say that's a fumble? So the pass went outside. Idaho Falls made contact almost immediately. And Madison did fumble it, but they're able to recover it. That could have been a huge chance for the Tigers.
Huge chance for the Tigers there on that one. They were able to read that pass out to the flat there and responded well to it.
So that's going to do it for the third quarter. As we head into the fourth, we're going to take a break and be right back for the final quarter of play here on IdahoSports.com.
At all our local Teton dealerships, we're committed to our no problem philosophy.
No problem means we'll find it, not we don't have it.
No problem means the same fair prices that we've always offered on our new vehicles.
Because when you shop with us, it's always no problem to buy and service your vehicles.
Your job is planning, planting, harvesting, and to be on call 24 hours a day. Our job is to make sure you have the resources to keep doing it. D.L. Evans Bank. This is community banking.
And welcome back for the fourth and final quarter of play here from Rafston Field in Idaho Falls. Again, a brand new facility here. They've got the soccer lines out. They've got the lacrosse lines out. Everything ready to go for multiple sports here at Rafston Field. Of course, the Idaho Falls lacrosse team made it to the state championship 2 seasons ago. From what I've heard, the lacrosse world is going to look different in Idaho this year, based on a couple of the teams in Boise kind of just bowing out and making their own league almost. So Dredge rolls left. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Madison. That time Porter Cotto with the catch, and he's just a sophomore too. So the youth on this Madison squad is incredible. 3 touchdown catches today from sophomores for the Bobcats. Extra point up and good. So Madison stretches it out 42-14, 11:54 on the clock.
Yeah, that was just a quick hitter out of the backfield there, and was able to put a pass on him there and score right going into the fourth quarter. I don't know this. I don't know. It seems like like you mentioned before. Don't know whether to attribute this to Idaho Falls' maybe
the defense just not being there, or is it the offense of Madison? As it's hard to watch the Madison offense and see how they only scored 7 against Owyhee and 14 against Blackfoot. I know that Blackfoot's a good team, but this offense has looked very good. But at the same time, it's really been the horse that's pulling this wagon has been Dredge, and he's been able to do it on the ground, and that has opened up the entire offense. And in those other games, I didn't see those other games where the team's able to focus on Dredge and not let him do that. So here we go. Idaho Falls takes it deep and stuffed. Oh my goodness, what a tackle from Bryce Dredge. Again, Dredge is the one that kicked that one off. That's one of those you pick them up and drop them down. What a tackle by Dredge. And just a little insult or injury for Idaho Falls. Again, just underway here in the fourth quarter. About 11.5 to go. Again, if you're just tuning in, we had a conversation. A lot of games canceled over in the Treasure Valley area. We'll have to see if they are going to be played. It's going to be an interesting weekend of football here in Idaho. And Lida, a good reception, and he's across the 40. So that's what the Tigers needed. And they'll move the chains.
Result of the play is another Tiger first down.
Yeah, just able to run a little screen there for Colton Lida, and picked up some pretty good yards on that first down play.
So first down here for the Tigers. Fetter rolls right, and he's going to go deep. And again, is it caught? Incomplete. That's when the receiver was open, but the pass just kind of hung in the air too long, and the receiver had to stop instead of keep running that route. And a couple of games, Columbia was supposed to play at Canyon Ridge. That one got canceled. Timberlake from up north was going to play McCall Donnelly. In both of those situations, players were on the bus driving when they got word of the cancellation, so they turned around and went home. That's brutal. So here we go. Second down for the Tigers, and a good run by Lida. He's into the next level, and he's got a first down. An interesting development at the 1A Division I level. Lighthouse Christian leads Raft River in the third quarter, 26-24. For all you 1A football fans out there. Raft River, of course, went undefeated last year, but then lost in the state championship. They played for the state championship 2 years ago as well. So that would be a big story. And a tackle in the backfield, getting a hand back there was Tayson Clark. Brings up second down for Idaho Falls.
Idaho Falls still going with the no-huddle offense, trying to get some momentum going on offense. It's worked pretty good for them the second half.
Fetter has time. Can he get his receiver? No. Great defense by number 2. That's Jake Rhodes. Or excuse me, that's 7. Zach Carden back there. Again, Fetter just not getting enough zip on those. They're just hanging a little too long, and it's given the defense time to come back. Get those things lower and more on the money, and you might see a couple more scores. You just feel like Idaho Falls is not. You can see the areas that maybe they can fix. At least easy for us to say up here. But they're just not that far off. Fetter rolls left, going to keep it for himself. And on third down, he only picks up about 3 yards. So it'll be fourth down for the Tigers. They'll have to go for it here as they trail by 28 with 10 minutes to go.
Beautiful night for football tonight. Nice, and it's almost got a fall-like feel to it finally after weeks.
I know, 105 degrees this week, and it's finally football weather out.
Yep.
Fetter rolls right, and he's got a man deep. He doesn't see him, and he's not going to get the first down. Man, he had a receiver streaking wide open around the 15, and he just didn't see him. Goes out of bounds, and it'll go to Madison. Trying to get a number over there on that receiver. He ran a great route to get away. Number 10, Trey Piper. Piper's been in good spots all night, just the ball hasn't gotten to him. We saw him almost score a touchdown down on the other end earlier, just overshot him, and that one he was open over there. Federer just didn't see him, and now it goes over to Madison, who's probably going to look to burn out some clock, and we got a different quarterback in as Dredge's day is done. Looks like number 20 back in there. That is Jet Summers, the junior. And Madison, kind of as expected, just keeps it on the ground. Austin Cottrell picks up a couple yards. It'll be second and about 5 for Madison. getting a couple players some playing time, as this one is pretty much decided.
There's a good chance that Dredge could be a little bit tired. He's,
he had a lot of yards.
Logged a lot of yards tonight.
And we do announce IdahoSports.com player of the game when this is all said and done. And it's going to be tough to beat Ben Dredge for that award for this evening. For what he did on the ground and what he threw through the air. You know, he had 2 touchdown runs, but then he also had 5 touchdown passes. It was all him. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 touchdown passes and 2 touchdown runs. 1 of 20, 1 of 66 yards. Just a 6 touchdown performance typically gets you a player of the game. And this run by the Bobcats is good for another first down and still rolling forward. That great run brought to you by Austin Cottrell, who's across the 40. So 8 minutes to go here from Rafson, and Madison has this one in hand. The run game for the Bobcats set up the touchdown. I mean, you see 4 touchdown passes, and you think, man, they're an air raid team. But no, it's all been on the ground. And this run picks up a couple.
Yeah, Madison's offense is just, you know, I'd like to attribute a lot of that to that offensive line. And, you know, obviously Dredge, he does a lot. He sets up a lot of that with his legs. And, you know, you're trying to, you've got your head down trying to stop one thing, and then he can beat you with the pass. Pretty accurate passer, and missed a couple, you know, just missed routes by wide receivers. Other than that, I think he's been pretty on with his passing too.
But, man, like you said, the offensive line, they have just been opening gaps like Moses in the Red Sea, but not that time. Idaho Falls finally gets some pressure in the backfield. Big tackle by Lucas D'Antoni. The man just, you got to think there's some new guys here on the line right now for Madison too, but when the starters were out there for the Bobcats, it just was, they could go where they wanted. Dredge just, what a great game from him and the offensive line. 6.5 to go here. And that pass is caught at the 30, and the ball comes out, and who's going to get it? Madison. I think Madison falls on it. A couple different players had a chance. I'm going to tell you, Jet Summers, welcome to the big leagues, buddy. He took a shot back there at quarterback, but still completes the pass. The ball just kept rolling. Again, you talked about the turf, Lynn, and I don't know if that had a factor, but the ball just kept going. Finally picked up by the Bobcats.
It's been a pretty clean game too. Wouldn't you say we had 1 turnover, and then obviously when the ball is bouncing your way, it really does, and Madison was pretty fortunate to get that ball back and then just keep running the clock. Why no matter what quarterback you've got in there, this.
Right. They just have been successful. They've been able to make those holes and read the right one. The offensive line is making them, but as a quarterback or a running back, you got to hit the right one at the right time and wait for those guys to get in place, and everybody has just done their job for Madison. And this one stopped in the backfield. Cottrell nowhere to go. Couple different Tigers in there on the tackle. Got some guys in with different numbers that aren't on the roster.
That brings up a 3rd down for the Bobcats.
Number 61 for Idaho Falls in there. Sorry, what were you going to say,
I was
Lance?
just going to say that that's okay. You know, I mean, they've got the game in hand. They just need that clock to keep running, and that's all that they're, you know, at this point, Madison, that's what their goal is, to just keep that clock running.
Exactly. 4:30 to go in this one. This run sneaking through, knifing up. Does he have a first down? He's going to be about 2 yards short. This is one of those tough spots. You've got the lead well in hand. Do you kick a field goal just, you know, to score more points? And because nobody wants to add on. That's not – teams in Idaho are very respectful of each other, and they are not going to do that unless they're not going to try and run up the score on purpose.
Sure.
And, you know, going for it on 4th down could be perceived that way, but it's also saying, well, I'm not just trying to score. But either way, Madison's going to come out for a field goal. This is a great opportunity for their freshman kicker to get an opportunity to kick. Brayson Stoddard, he'll be on for a 30-yard attempt. And Stoddard's kick is up, and it looks good, and it is good. So Stoddard knocks through a 30-yard field goal at the 3:23 mark.
Yeah, like you were saying, you know, you don't want to run up the score, but, you know, how many opportunities are they going to have to where they have a, you know, a decent field goal attempt and get some, you know, reps underneath that freshman's belt, you know, when it you know, down the road it can be huge that, you know, we've been here before, we can do this. So
did they need those 3 points? No. But it's a football game. You got to take what's given to you. Either you know, you pick up the first down, you probably punch it in for a touchdown at some point, but like you said, gives your kicker a valuable rep there that he knows now he's got the confidence when it comes in a big game and you need to kick a 30-yard field goal. You have that confidence that, you know what, our freshmen can go out there and get it done. This conference has seen phenomenal kickers. You think about last year, Highland literally rode Ian Hershey to a state championship game. That game against Rocky Mountain, I think he hit was it 60 yards or something like that. He kicked 4 field goals over 45 yards in the quarterfinals, and then he did it in the semifinals as well. Idaho Falls still having trouble picking up the ball on kicks. This time getting it around the outside, and all that running for just a little bit of yards. A little shoving after the fact down there. So first down from Idaho Falls at the 21-yard line. Again, there's only almost 3 minutes to just barely over 3 minutes to go in this one.
New quarterback for Idaho Falls in the game.
Short pass left side. Still on his feet. Good run here across the 30. So the new quarterback in for Idaho Falls. I just can't get his shirt to turn to get his number there.
I believe it's number 11, Bradley Ellison.
You're right. So Ellison,
sophomore.
5'11", 170-pound sophomore in for the Tigers. Looked good on that throw. And he'll keep it himself. Wow. That was a heck of an option play. That was a quarterback read pass option. He ran through the gap, faked the pitch to the running back, and then threw it. I thought he was going to pitch it. I was like, what are you thinking? But, you know, I'm not him, and he made a smart play.
Looks like both sides are letting some of these boys that haven't played a lot probably get some playing time.
Oh, that one in and out of the hands of Murdoch. And that's happened a couple of times to him. Just the pass has been there, but he's not able to bring it in. So 2:22 to go. So second down. Good run here across the 40, and I believe a first down. That's Parker Elliott, the junior, on the run. There's a lot of young players on this Idaho Falls squad. You mentioned it earlier. They lost a lot of people last year. That was the best team the Tigers have had in a long time was last year. Just barely missed out on the state playoffs. Only had 3 losses to state tournament teams, 2 of which played for a state championship. And they lost a lot, and it's going to take time to replace them. That pass incomplete. It'll bring up a second down.
Yeah, that last year's team for Idaho Falls was, had a lot of senior leadership on it. A lot of those seniors had played a couple years, good minutes, as far as getting some experience and things like that. Tough to replace that. I think you see that on the other side with the QB Dredge, for Madison is, just what that senior leadership and that experience can do.
And that pass intended for Taylor Carden is incomplete. Took a hit and got up a little jawing back and forth. So we're at the 2:05 mark of this one. 45-14. Again, this East Idaho game night presented by Teton Auto Group, Teton Toyota, Volkswagen, and Honda, as well as Ermac Pediatrics and D.L. Evans Bank. Also want to thank Alta Insurance for being on the broadcast with us again this week. As that pass falls incomplete again, it'll bring up 4th down for the Tigers. And if they don't convert here, that'll pretty much be all she wrote, as Madison just will run out the clock. So the Tigers, one more shot here. Deep pass, and nobody went over there, and it's going to be intercepted by Madison. Intercepted by number 32, Payson Genta. And Genta, he's across the 40, and he gets a shove after the fact, and the flag comes out. So Genta intercepts it deep. That's one where sometimes you might say, just let that thing fall down and take over where the pass was thrown around the 40. But when you return it to the other 40 and get an extra 15 yards, now you're down at the 25, and you say, hey, that's not too bad. So now you got to think that the Madison second teamers here are going to look to maybe try and put a touchdown on the board. You give them the opportunity. We are at the 141 mark in this one, as Madison has this one well in hand. See if they try to get some of these guys some reps. So Dredge is going to come back out. So that leads me to think that they're just going to knee this one out and call it a night.
Yeah, I would imagine so, especially when they're lined up 10 yards back. And
so Dredge will take the snap, and he will just take a knee. That's going to hurt his numbers, though. That's a 5-yard loss on that knee.
Yeah.
He had, we don't have the official stats in front of us, but he had to have had over 200 yards on the ground tonight. He had a 66-yard touchdown run, so he had 86 yards just on touchdowns, and he definitely ran over 100 yards in between the end zones. And just a phenomenal night for quarterback Ben Dredge, as we are now at the minute mark, as they'll wait for the official to give the signal. And Dredge takes the snap, takes a knee. 54 seconds to go. I believe they'll have to do it one more time. So he's lost 10 yards on this. This honestly kind of a stat book killer for Dredge.
Kind of wondering why, he's got to be wondering why. Well, maybe he doesn't. He's, the win. We'll take the win. You win over anything else. But at the same time, it's like you brought me back into the game to run to
lose 15 yards.
Yeah.
So that'll do it here from Idaho Falls. Madison gets away with a 45-14 win over Idaho Falls. We're gonna take a quick 30-second break and then be right back with the Idaho Sports Player of the Game, which, I mean, it's really no secret, but we'll be right back.
Well, why should I take my kiddos to ERMAC?
Simply put, ERMAC has the most experience taking care of kids. As a Level 2 trauma center, we are well equipped to take care of pediatric injury and illness. All ERMAC ER nurses have high-level pediatric certifications, and that's just not common in all ERs. This expertise and experience is found only at ERMAC.
Wow, that's great. I had no idea.
And welcome back. Again, all that's left to do is announce our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game. And after a heated discussion, we're just going to go ahead and give it to number 5, Ben Dredge. Well deserved.
Yeah, he definitely took control of this game. You know, a little bit of, coming out of the gate looked like, pretty like it wasn't going to happen this game. But then from after the first series to the end of the game, the only time that Idaho Falls could really stop Dredge is when he was taking those 5-yard knees behind the line of scrimmage. So, Idaho Falls started off really good. They looked like they were going to come out and they marched right down the field with that first drive. And Madison, after their first drive, I thought we were going to have a pretty good game back and forth. And Idaho Falls, I don't know whether to attribute that to their defense. I mean, obviously their defense couldn't stop them, so I don't know whether it's them or if it's the offensive line or, Dredge. He made some good plays there, good reads. Draw that line, defensive line in on him and then take off, or would hand off, at the right time and just kind of kept Idaho Falls guessing on what he was going to do, even though you knew what he was going to do. He was going to end up with the ball anyway. Making that first guy miss or make that, run over the guy and 5 yards down the field, making that first tackle miss and then just picking up yards after that. And when you're picking up, half a dozen yards every play, you're never behind the chains, so it just kind of runs in, and that's we had a pretty quick game there.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're kneeling out the last 2 minutes anyway, but just a good game. Idaho Falls, I'm not sure who they have next. Got to get some things I think figured out on defense, and then I'm kind of surprised that Madison has only scored so many points in the games that they've had so far, because they were able to put up 45 points, and it's not like they had some big plays, but it seems like nothing, they're not a run and shoot type offense of where they're going to put up that many points anyway, but here you go. How can you stop them? Well, obviously the previous games, I don't know, I didn't see those games, but at the same time, it's interesting to see how they were able to put up 45 points tonight.
And next week, Madison has Thunder Ridge, and Idaho Falls will be at Bonneville. So that'll do it here. This has been an IdahoSports.com GameStreams production of East Idaho Game Night, presented by Teton Auto Group, ERMAC Pediatric Services, and D.L. Evans Bank. This is also brought to you in part by our major sponsors, Project Filters, Valley-Wide Cooperative, the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, and your local Toyota dealer. We also want to thank our local sponsor tonight, Alta Insurance, for being here on the broadcast with us. Special thanks to everybody here at Idaho Falls for their hospitality and helping us get this game broadcast to you at home. Congratulations again to Ben Dredge, our IdahoSports.com Player of the Game. Well, that'll do it again. Thanks for joining us as Madison defeats Idaho Falls 45-14. For my broadcast partner, Lynn Frank, I'm Logan Green, and along with everybody else behind the scenes here at IdahoSports.com, we will see you next week.
This has been a presentation of IdahoSports.com GameStreams. This broadcast is copyrighted to IdahoSports.com. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of IdahoSports.com is strictly prohibited.